100K level paradigm shift. That's what I want to talk about today. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Humanitarian Millionaires. I'm your host, Estela Romanowa, and I'm recording this today a bit early because I will be going to a seaside and hang out with my friend. So that's why I thought I will give this out before I leave my town. So, the topic that I have been observing this week, and also I have been observing a lot in, I would say, like my entire life, I was able to put into one pattern. And I want to share this with you probably because you can relate to this so much as I did. And I was so shocked at how my entire life's behavior could be put into one pattern if I were to distill it down, because of which I haven't lived my life fully and freely the way that I wanted to. Right? All the suffering, all the struggle, all the distractions, all the limitations were all coming down to this pattern that I am shifting, and I'm shifting the paradigm altogether. And I want to see how my life evolves when I shift that paradigm altogether. And I keep talking about from different angles, but today I feel like I have nailed it to distinctly share with you what that pattern looks like. So the pattern is my brain has been conditioned to use something to either feel good, feel very bad, meaning suffering, or feel very limited. These are the three things. So my brain used every single thing, either inside me or outside me, to feel great about it, to feel bad about it, or suffering about it, or to feel limited about. This was the pattern that kept governing me all of my life, basically. So let me start from some of the examples from my earlier childhood so that you know what I mean and you get the idea of how fascinating and specific this is and how all of this patterning fits, right? So when I was growing up, because I was an adopted child and I considered myself not lovable, which I think happens to a lot of children who didn't grow up with their parents, even though children who grew up with their parents probably find a lot of reasons to criticize their parents. But for me, that was the biggest thing, is that I was not loved by my biological parents, and therefore I was given to adoption was my story, right? And then I had another story, which is I am not beautiful. I'm not like great looking like other girls. Therefore, I'm not dateable. So, in other words, I used my adoption story to feel bad about myself, to suffer about myself and about my life. And I used my looks to feel bad about myself and limit myself as to who I can date and who I cannot date. And the same pattern went when I went to work in the UN, right? So I used UN to feel, on the one hand, great about how I'm successful, I'm doing the thing that I want to, and also feel victimy on the other as to how I can't live my life the way I want to because you unlimits me, kind of the story. Right? So if you can look at your own life story, probably you can also have very similar conditioning, similar paradigms that you have been living your whole life. So you either use your circumstances to feel good about yourself or to feel bad about yourself or to feel the limitation, right? And then when I left the UN and as I transitioned to doing coaching, I also used UN in the negative, meaning that, oh, now that I I'm not part of the UN, I'm not feeling belonging, or I'm not feeling as important as I used to be. I'm not feeling that status. And then I also use the UN in the way to limit myself to say that, well, I can't really um, make the money that I was making back in the UN because I'm not working for the UN. You see how I use that context to limit myself, right? And this pattern, this paradigm is a fascinating one that I think we use everywhere, every time. And the part that I think is even more shocking to me is that you don't even recognize it, right? I haven't even recognized for most of my life that this is what I was doing until I started solving for my self-butchery, which I talked about in some of the live sessions. And until I started really looking at, okay, I don't want to be treating myself this bad. And I'm so tired of um, living my life in the way that feels so victimy and so suffering and struggling the whole time. I don't like it. And that's when I started changing, right? But what I didn't realize was that even at this level of bold dreams that I was pursuing, which is making a $1 million level impact, I didn't realize that that same paradigm, that same pattern was coming up only in the most subtlest ways. Right. And the subtle way would be that even though I know that I don't need to limit myself with anything, I know that I am capable of achieving this type of results or creating this type of results. But I noticed that the limitation now, in my case, became like distraction. And those distractions are very subtle and very sophisticated, right? And the way that they look like is, oh, you are resting today. You like deserve it. You don't need to do anything, even though I had certain things planned to do. And, or you don't have the ideas, creative ideas, or let's just stay in the um, done energy, and then all of the things that you planned, they will somehow happen without taking some actions, right? And also, I noticed that the actions that I have been taking so far to create the value that I want for my 100K a month level, I see that those values are not enough, but my brain keeps then subtly nudging and like steering me away to um, but what if this is enough? And then some of the times, well, maybe this is not enough. Yes, maybe you should do something. And then maybe you shouldn't do something, right? So all of these distractions, energetic distractions almost, that keeps me busy thinking, keeps me busy like entertaining those thought processes instead of actually focusing on doing the things. So this is the pattern that, or the paradigm that I really want to now shift to, the paradigm where I'm no longer using anything external or internal to feel good about myself, to feel bad about myself, or to limit myself. This is the paradigm shift that I'm making in my own life and practicing as of now, right? So if I cannot limit myself in any way, because I know that I have the infinite powerful potential yet to find out what that looks like. So therefore, there is no reason for me to limit myself. So therefore, I need to watch out for those distractions, for those subtle energetic giving up or energetically vacillating, right? Or energetically feeling like maybe is this one, maybe is this one kind of thing, versus no, these are the things that I want to create in life and I want to contribute to, and then keep focusing on it. So that's the biggest thing that I need to work on. And the other one is to feel good about my goal or to feel bad about my goal, right? I can see my brain also wants to go into, oh, you haven't achieved your goal, so maybe you should feel bad about it. And I was like, no. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get into, oh, I didn't get the goal and I didn't achieve it. I must be this person. I must be that person. I don't want to do that, right? And therefore, I didn't even react to the results of this month because I was like, I don't want to stay in the, if I achieve a goal feeling great and powerful and confident, and if I don't achieve a goal feeling shitty and disappointed, I don't want to go into that. I feel great for having given my all as much as I'm capable of currently. And I want to now learn how not to limit myself, how not to distract myself in the way that I give up energetically in the process. And I don't want to do that anymore. So, therefore, I want to explore new levels of going all in. And I'm still learning how to do that. And I also don't want to use my goal to feel bad about myself, which I stopped doing it. So I'm good on that. And I don't want to also use my goal to feel good about once I achieve it, meaning like, oh, now I can consider myself confident. Now I can consider myself great and all of this because I already feel great and confident that I can do that. So therefore, do you see the paradigm shift that I have been making is in terms of feeling using my goals or circumstances or something within me to feel bad. I don't do that anymore. So I feel so proud of myself for having done it, having done the work. To feel good about once I achieve the goal, I don't do that anymore either. So I feel already great for going for this goal, for creating this value and exploring how this is and how to go through the journey. So I feel great about it. Now I need to work on the limitation part, which comes in the form of distractions in my case. And in your case, it might be even at the level of this is not possible. Don't even go for it. Who do you think you are? Those are the limitations that you might need to work on and get coaching on. In my case, the limitations that sound like very harmless, but at the same time, I can see that they are my self-sabotaging thoughts, beliefs that are sabotaging me and not getting me to the outcome that I want to. So that's why those are the things that I want to work on. And the way that I want to work on it, and I keep doing that as well, and I keep coaching myself and getting coaching, is on I really get observant first as to how I'm vacillating, how I'm distracting myself, how I'm not really putting the work that I could have. I observe myself first, and then once I observe it, then I start looking at, okay, what was energetically, how I was feeling in the moment when I wasn't going for the thing that I want to. And then the feeling might be something like giving up, defeated, or feeling might be like it won't work anyway, whatever that feeling might be. And then I start investigating, okay, why am I sabotaging myself with these thoughts, with these beliefs? And then my brain might say, well, if I keep doing it this way, then it's safe, it's easier, familiar, right? Because getting to 100K level work feels unsafe, unfamiliar, and my brain obviously wants to keep protecting me using sabotages as tools. And then the more I'm onto it and I start realizing, okay, I don't want to be spending so much time and energy on fighting my self-sabotages. Instead, I want to now go into, okay, I'm noticing this is what I'm doing. I'm noticing how I'm using my own thought processes and feelings to sabotage myself, to limit myself, and I don't want to do that. So therefore, let me instead focus, shift the gears towards doing the thing that I want to, or talk about how I'm solving my sabotages. And maybe, hopefully, more people will see this in themselves and they're able to solve their own sabotages as well. Okay, so this is my work for June, you all, is to, excuse me, to shift this paradigm to what if there is nothing I can use to limit myself? What if there is nothing I can use to feel great or feel shitty about myself because I already feel great? I have no reason to feel shitty or suffering, especially about things that are within my control, right? And therefore, what is left, if I remove this main pattern, what is left is then actually focus on doing the things when I say I would, and then living my life the rest of the time. This is what I'm going to work on it, and I will tell you more how it's going. Okay, my dears, have a beautiful week. And if you would like my support in getting your boldest dreams, come coach with me. Have a beautiful week. Bye.